If it weren't for Elon Musk, with his Tesla motors, few people in the modern world would even remember the name of the person who gave us electricity. Nikola Tesla was ahead of his time, having not received the recognition he deserved during his lifetime. He invented many technical devices that are considered revolutionary to this day. Tesla is responsible for many inventions that are ahead of their time, which in our time have earned everyone's attention. First of all, we are talking about wireless technologies, including wireless transmission of electricity, the first mobile phones, unmanned vehicles and aircraft, as well as mysterious death rays. Tesla was a genius who spoke 8 languages. He was a futurist who came up with a large number of devices almost 100 years before they were created. He was born during a thunderstorm on the 10th of July, 1856th year in Croatia. A scientist once said such a phrase, "Every person who died still exists." But what did this man mean? What secret of death was revealed to him? It's no secret that Tesla, in addition to his experiments with electricity, was also a philosopher. He saw a lot in this life from his point of view and understanding of the essence of being. He believed that many things were possible in our world, from wireless electricity to travel in space and time. His thoughts were constantly racing ahead of time, but he was also thinking about God, about the meaning of life and about immortality. Once, when Nikola Tesla was already at a fairly advanced age, and he was already 74 years old at that time, he said that he had not done everything he wanted, and he wanted to create a second sun for people to illuminate the whole earth. And in his opinion, there is enough electricity for this. He wanted to solve 3 problems for humanity. One problem is the food. What kind of energy, stellar or terrestrial, can feed the hungry on earth? What kind of wine can you give to thirst so that people can comfort their hearts and understand that they are gods? Another thing is to destroy the power of evil and the suffering in which a person's life passes. Sometimes they arise as an epidemic in the depths of space. In this century, the disease has spread from Earth to the entire universe. I discovered a star that, according to astronomical and mathematical laws, can disappear and still nothing will change. This star is located in our galaxy. Its light can be emitted with such density that it fits into a sphere smaller than an apple and at the same time heavier than our solar system. Religions and philosophies teach that a person can become Christ, Buddha and Zarathustra. Nikola Tesla believed that in order for a person to fly, it is not necessary to create flying machines. It is enough to learn how to properly focus your thought on your own wings. I don't know which one of you hasn't flown in a dream. Just lifting off the ground, hovering at a low altitude, forcing your body to do it with the power of thought. Probably, everyone has such an experience, but only, unfortunately, in a dream. It is a pity that in reality we have not yet remembered how to fly, although many of us think that it once happened to us. That once, in another place and time, each of us could fly. The funny thing is that we are afraid to admit it to ourselves, so that no one will think that this is nonsense. Tesla's answer to the question about energy was simple. First there was energy, and then there was matter. And matter is created from eternal energy called light. Thanks to him, stars, planets, and even people on Earth appeared. And matter is the expression of infinite forms of light. Energy is older than matter. He believed that the source of many diseases could be the spirit, and it can also cure many diseases. The first was light, an infinite source from which material emanates and is distributed across all forms representing the universe and the earth with all aspects of life. Black is the true face of light, only we don't see it. It has a wonderful grace for man and other creatures. Each of its particles has light, thermal, nuclear forces, radiation, chemical, mechanical and yet unidentified energies. It has the power to create the earth with its orbit. This is the true level of Archimedes. And remember that there is no person who exists and does not die. He became a light and as such still exists. The secret lies in the fact that the particles of light restore their original state. And this is the meaning of the immortal soul of man. According to the scientist, this is not exactly a resurrection, but rather a return to an earlier energy. Sometimes they are forms of light, and sometimes they are directly heavenly light. This is quite consistent with religious teachings, which say that at first there was a void, and from it arose everything that is in our being. God is the light, and it permeates all living things on earth. And all life on earth is the energy of light, which means that each of us is a particle of God, and we can figuratively be considered his children, just as our children are flesh of our flesh. And we are particles of divine light, energy that is everywhere and in everything. And we can't die. We were energy, we are energy, and we will continue to be it. This is the concept of the human soul. She is immortal, because the soul is energy. This is what Tesla meant when he talked about immortality. It's just a transition from one state to another. One cannot die who has never been born. All living things on Earth were energy and remained it, despite the fact that only changes in its material form took place. And darkness, according to Tesla, is the other side of the world, invisible to humans. A person is not just a physical shell, consciousness and soul. It is something more connected not only with this planet, but also with the cosmos, the universe. It contains not just energy, but the living energy of light, which is different from the energy of the sun or an electric lamp. Light is not just lighting, but it is all that our material and spiritual world consists of. This is even more than we can imagine and realize. For the human mind, the concept of light is still incomprehensible, but the fact that this is energy, and it is infinite, is clear to us. In his theories, Tesla differed in many ways from all famous scientists, but the most impressive thing is his attitude to metaphysics and spirituality. His study of the ether, which we can today call the higher densities that exist in the realm of thought and which, due to our limited perception and fixed physicality, are beyond our senses and do not exist for material science, had logical consequences for Tesla. The explanations were also quite obvious. Nikola Tesla has always maintained that the spiritual component associated with human spirituality, the pursuit of knowledge and hard work, contributes to his progress. Einstein constantly denied the mental component of his research. His lectures did not attach any importance to consciousness, although he discussed religion with many philosophers and spiritual teachers. Tesla constantly criticized the reliability of Einstein's work. He ridiculed the belief that energy can be obtained from matter. There is no energy in matter except that which matter receives from the environment, Tesla said. He believed that no theory could explain how the universe works without recognizing the existence of ether and the necessary function it performs in this phenomenon. Nikola Tesla is actually interesting because his mind was way ahead of the time he lived in. His research bordered on science fiction, and his ethics and lack of interest in profit were a thorn in the eye of all those who thought that someone could be bribed. Tesla considered himself a believer in God and respected all religions. Apart from orthodoxy, from which he came, he was especially inspired by the science of the Vedas and Vedanta. It should not be forgotten that he grew up in a family of devoted believers, although he later declared that he believed in a God who did not belong to any religion. Tesla really had the qualities of a monk. He practiced breathing and meditation, lived chaste, adhered to a vegetarian diet from a mature age, did not smoke or drink coffee. He slept very little. He was a benefactor, a peacemaker. He believed in the eternity of life through incarnations, the unity of all beings and the wheel of fate. Death does not exist, and with this knowledge, the fear of death disappears. And remember, not a single person who has ever existed has died. They have turned into light and continue to exist as such. The secret is that these light particles return to their original state, a return to one of the previous energies. Christ and others knew this secret. This is one of the aspects of light in the soul, sometimes equal to the highest heavenly light. We must exercise moderation and control over our feelings and inclinations in any regard.